Hello guys, welcome to the placement oriented coding question solutions tutorial by your host and host Mr. Suraj Pawar sir from LeadSoft Placement Academy. So in a last video tutorial we guys have seen the questions of product array. Those I have asked in last of Accenture, Capgemini and TCS questions. Now today we guys are going to check with the new questions that I have also asked in TCS, Capgemini, Cummings to Atos Syntal, and the last July, that is the July 2023 campus of Accenture also. Okay, let us check the question. The question titled here as list some sub array. Okay, let me put it to the read mode so that we can able to extract with all the information. So this is the page 1 and this is the page 2. So coming to these questions right there, we have to implement one function called as sub array. Okay, to this function, as it mentioned, we have to pass the array as an argument and the value of key. Okay, what is it problem statement is exactly for? Let us check with the description. Okay, the function accepts the integer array. Okay, that is what for clear. The function accept what? It accepts the integer array of the name ARR and which is having the size n and in an integer of k. So it accesses two basics argument, the array and the value of k. So we have to implement the function that return a sub array of the length k. So k belongs to the length of that value from the array whose sum of the element is list. Now when it comes to list means what? List means minimum. Okay, list means what? List is minimum value. So I have to find out the sub array having the length of k which result or which sum is the minimum value from that entire array. Okay, sub array concept also they have mentioned. What is sub array? A sub array of an array is a consecutive sequence. What is it? A consecutive sequence means if I am right here, then the next sub array would be of 2, 1, minus 4 kind of. So it is a consecutive sequence of 0 or more values taken out from that array itself. And some notes and assumptions is also given for the problem. The first assumption made here is what? The value of k. The value of k right here is greater than 0. So the k must be of greater than 0. And again, some hidden test cases they have given. If the array is empty or a none in case of Python, or n is less than k, then we have to return null or the none in case of Python. So I'm going to write a condition as if the n is less than k, then we should have to return a none value in a Python or a null value in a Java or a C++. So in case of multiple subarrays, return the subarray whose first element is at the smallest position. So the first smallest index that we guys are going to return from here, these are for hidden test cases along with the value of k, and this is the main logic. Now let us understood the same logic by having the same inputs along with the value of k. So here we are receiving an array with the size of 7 and the array elements are 3, 2, 1, minus 4, 6, 3 and 1, and we are having the value of k as a 3. So how does it is going to be works? As I said, the sub array, which means what? If I am starting with the 3, so the sub array which is having the size of k as k equal to 3 is what? 3, 2, 1. So if I am add them together, so the sum of this is what? 6. Now let us start with the next element. So if I am started with this, so the elements is like 2, 1, minus 4. Their sum is what? Minus 1. 2 plus 1, 3. 3 minus 4, minus 1. Then we have the elements of 1 minus 4, 6. Their sum is what? 3. Again we have the next element minus 4, 6, 3. Their sum is what? 5. Then we have the last element 6, 3, 1, their sum is what? 10. So if I'm going to check out with list sum out of all this, so I can get the minus 1, that is what? 2 1 minus 4 is having the list sum value with the value of minus 1. So we are going to return that sub array from the function and we are going to print into the output, which means from the function I have to return one more sub array. So respective to that, we guys are going to write with the code. Now let us check what will be the scenario. Okay, here we are occurring with the two problem in statement. One is to extract the sub array with the size of k, and the second is I have to find out the list sum from that arrays, those those are formed by that sub array itself. Now let us work it out. So I am going to create one Python file here. So let me open the IDLE, and as far as the request are coming to the video, you want to code in Java, so we will try to convert again in Java programming also. So the last time we guys have prepared one solution for the product array. So I'm going to be open that code and we are going to do the changes for the same. So first I'm going to provide a skeleton. So coming to the skeleton for the problem, what I'm going to get is I have to create a function called as what? Sub array having array and k value. So let me first create with this def sub array and having the array and the value of k. Well, we will write this code later. Now I have to write a code for inputting. So first I am going to input the size of the array, then the array elements, and then the value of k. So let us do with that. So first let us say n is the size of array, which is in integer. Then the array elements, I am going to take it in a list format. So list of map of integer comma input with split. Right, now next we are going to enter the value of k and k as integer of input, and from the function now I have to call the function, but from the function one more array is going to come. Well, that array I'm going to store it in a result variable like this. So I'm going to say sub array by the array value and k, and I'm going to print all the elements from that result separated by the new line using the for loop and the end operator. Now let us come to the logic. In the logic, I have to first extract the sub array with the size of k. Well, to make them form, as I have two different tasks here, I wanted to find out the sum also of that sub array and the sub array elements too. So for this, I'm going to create a tool list. Instead of creating a tool list, we can extract with the dictionary also. That thing also getting possible, but first we will try to understand along with the list, and then we will make them convert along with the value of that dictionary itself. So I'm going to create two arrays. First is what? Sub array by the name sub array, where I'm going to store all sub arrays right there, and the second one is sums, where I'm going to store the sum of that sub array. Well, to get that all the case consecutive sequence of the array, I have to start iterating through the array. Now to iterate through the array, I am going to use this for I in the range of length of this array itself, and inside this I will first check whether the length of array. So I'm going to form them in a temp. Okay, I'm going to use the slicing. If you don't know what is slicing exactly, please do check out our Python tutorial for the list content, and there itself we will get to know what is slicing exactly so called. So using the slicing, I can able to return the consecutive sequence of the array. So I'm going to say temp equals to that array of starting point I and ending point is I plus k. So whatever the value of k, that is going to be taken, and the current value of I, that is what the current index in the looping, and it is going to form the sub array with the size of k. Well, I am going to check if that length of temp, okay, if that length of temp equals to k, because if I am dealing with the rightmost element, if I am having one or two elements, in that case also slicing could be done, but their length should not be the case. So I have to write that code to check whether whatever the sub array that I am receiving with is having the length as a k or not. So I'm going to check first whether the length of temp or that array which I'm finding out is the k. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to insert that temp that we have formed as a sub arrays to the sub array list. And to make that insert, I am going to say sub array dot append of that temp. Now in the next line I have to store the sum also, so I am going to say sums dot append of sum of that sub array, that is what temp. Well, I have received with the value of sums and the value of sub array. Let us print with them. Let us do understood how is this working. So I'm going to print first sub array and I'm going to print in the next line as a sums. Okay, so I'm going to say return. Okay, I don't want to return, but well, in a problem statement, once it called at this line, the error will be thrown because we are not returning with any value. So by that time, we will check it out. So let us check with the inputs. So these are the inputs. Let me copy with them. So the length is 7. All right, let us run the file. So here the length is 7. These are the array elements and the value of k is what? 3. So you guys can see how the sub arrays and sums are formed. Okay, this error does not matters because we haven't written the value. So you guys can see in the first three elements are getting stored, that is what 3 to 1 as per the problem statement. Well, from starting this again 3 elements are getting stored, 2 1 minus 4. Again from starting of this 1 minus 4 6 has been got stored, and similarly their sums also stored in the same indices. Now as far as this concern, what we guys are going to do to get that minimum value, I am going to take the index of minimum value from the sums, and the same index of the array we are going to return from the sub array method, and that is how simple it is. Well, to get them perform, I am going to create a variable called as index equals to, so I want minimum index from the sums array. So I'm going to say, okay, sums dot index method. So using the index method of the list, we can able to return the index of that value. And what must be the value? The value must be the minimum of sums. Great. So we have right now we have the index by which we can able to return the minimum value of sub array also. So I'm going to say return the sub array of that index. Now let us work it out. Well, it will be working or not, let us check with this. So I'm going to run the code. So here we are, the length is what? 7. These are the array elements, value of key is 3, and the result is what? 2 1 minus 4. The same result we are supposed to be received with, and this must be the logic to make them solve. Again, let us apply the same for these array inputs. So second test case is there, length is 6 and the value of k is what? 2. So I'm going to copy the array. Let us come back here. So length is what? 6. Array element, these are the array elements, and the value of k is 2, and the output is 11 12. Let us cross confirm the same. Yeah, we have received with the same array elements right there, and this is how we can able to evaluate the issue along with the Python code. What we did, we have created two arrays or two lists, and we storing that elements right there, and we are returning along with the minimum value from the function. Well, the same logic I can apply along with the dictionary also. If I don't want to store multiple values or a multiple list over there, so I can create the dictionary right there. Okay, how it will be, like I'm going to say result equals to empty dictionary right now. So whatever the sum and whatever the sub array that going to be formed in that some, I'm going to store them as a element. So how I am going to create a dictionary? So I am going to say result of sum of that temp, where the temp is our consecutive sub array, equals to what? Consecutive sub array. And then I'm going to return the maximum value. Okay, I have to return. Now first let me show you how it looks like. Okay, how that dictionary will be looks like. Okay, so I'm going to say print of that result. Now let us be work along with the same input, the last one that we are going to be solved. So the element is what? 6. These are the array elements and the value of k is 2. Now you guys can see for every of storing the value that key and index, we guys are returning with that or created with that dictionary. Now what we can do, I can directly say the minimum from the dictionary. Now let us print. Okay, what should be the minimum from that dictionary result? Okay, you guys will get that output easily. So let us work it out again. So I'm going to say the elements is 6. These are the array elements. Value of k is 2. So you are receiving with that index of 23. Now I am going to return that value. So I'm going to say return of result of that mean of result. Now let us check. So I'm going to run again with the same input 6 array elements, value of k is 2, and the result is what? 11, 12. So this is a debugging output that will be not getting considered, and this is how the result that we guys can able to work it out along with the dictionary. So if you are comfortable with the dictionary, you can either go with the dictionary, or else if you are really comfortable with the list, you can directly go with the list. Now the major aspects when it is coming to the Java programming, same approach we guys are going to be followed with, and we are going to solve that value right there. Well, how we guys are going to do? But in Java all the things are different. In Java we don't have such kind of concepts of slicing. I cannot able to create, so I have to use multiple loops there. You guys please try for the Java programming, and let us try to convert the same logic into the Java. If you are comfortable, if you are not, you can put me there in a comment section. I will try to generate that code and put it to the comment section right there. Well, if you guys have understood this logic of what is the question, list sub array, and if you can able to think that you guys can able to do it at your side, so please give us the thumbs up. That will be a most great motivation to us to create this kind of content for you. Again, do share to the needful people. Stay tuned for the next video tutorial. Thanks for watching this video.